My people, thank you for tapping back in. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Let's go ahead and dive in. We're going to drop some NBA content on you. Haven't been doing that lately because I've been blessing all my people with mortgage related content so you guys can get your home ownership up, your investments up, and just stay aware of what's going on in that industry. But I got to stay tapped in with my Lakers. And since the last time I dropped the NBA related video, big trades happened, right? I actually made some videos about this, but I didn't end up posting it just because there were so many videos, and I just lost the energy for it. But what I do have the energy for is my boy Luka Doncic. I, for one, am very excited for a post LeBron James era and for the Lakers. Not that I dislike LeBron James. I think he's a great player, but I'm more of like how can I say? I like organic situations. Even though Luka got traded here, it wasn't like he got traded from a team where he had won championships, where you know what I mean, like that. He was there. They did some stuff, but they didn't actually win a championship. Kind of like Shaq in Orlando. So when he's leaving, looking for a better opportunity, and he wasn't really the one that made the choice. It was the organization that traded him. I don't look at him as like a team hopper because of this situation. So I'm excited to have Luka. He was a player that prior to being on the Lakers, I liked him a lot just because he's really good and he has a dog in him. He's very aggressive. He likes to talk shit to the crowd. He'll talk shit to the other team, and that's good to see. And it makes the game fun and interesting. And I feel like it's a good trade for the Lakers because he's very young. He still has a big upside. But I want to dive into the conversation of him as an addition to the Lakers. Is it a good addition? Where do I see them going? A question that I play with in my mind is he better than LeBron James? Right? Is he a better basketball player? I'm not really weighing out where they are right now versus where LeBron's obviously 40, he's 25, different places in their career. But if you were comparing them at the same age, who would you think is actually a better player? And then the last thing is just going forward. Is he going to be a good, I guess, flag bearer for the Lakers brand? You know, my man barely speaks English. I guess you could say he's a Slovenian immigrant. So that's unique for the Lakers because we've usually had all of our stars have been American dudes, right? Magic, Shaq, Kobe, Jerry West, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We've never had a star that was truly a foreigner, unless you want to consider Vlade Divac, who wasn't really a star. He was yeah, he's a star for a moment. But let's just dive in on the first topic, right? Where do I think the Lakers are going to go with Luka Doncic? This year, I think it would be very tough to see them going past maybe the second round of the playoffs, right? Um, other night we actually went to a Laker game. They played against Chicago. Chicago's not even really that great of a team right now. Chicago doesn't really have any like major stars playing. I think you got what's his name, Shane Giddy. Maybe his first name isn't Giddy, but his Shane. He's from Australia. I guess he's a known player, but Lonzo's not playing. They don't really have anyone else that's named, and they came into crypto.com arena and beat our Lakers. And we had LeBron and Luka playing, right? So I think that this year to expect them to go further than maybe second round of the playoffs is going to be tough. I feel like LeBron James is going to do everything he can to try and push it to a championship or deep into the playoffs because he's the type that believes that if he's there and he's healthy, he can probably make it happen. I believe that to a certain degree that he has like strengths that if things are kind of ticking in the right direction, he can bring a team that might be a second round and out type team. He might be able to push them to the finals. They might win if things are working the right way, especially when you have a closer like Luka Doncic, right? Because I don't think LeBron by himself as the closer could do that. You need someone else that's gonna, with confidence, close out the game and not fold up. And I feel like LeBron has that tendency to kind of, when things get sketchy, when things get tight, you got to defer to somebody, just like in the Olympics. If Steph Curry wasn't there, I don't think we would have brought home the gold, my friends. Because Steph Curry, in those moments, he rises to the occasion while LeBron tends to defer to other players. And thank God he had Steph Curry. And now he's got Luka that he can defer to that seems to be really good at hitting high pressure shots and delivering in those clutch moments. So that's a great thing. But I would think this year it'll still be tough since this is their first year together, and they've only been together. By the time we get to the playoffs, it would be less than half of the season. And um, and I think the weak point for Luka is his defense, right? So you got LeBron James, who's been playing better defense this year, but I feel like for him to really turn on that energy, it's going to take away because he is 40 years old. It's going to take away from what he can do on the offense. And what you see is just like he recently had that hamstring injury. That's a fatigue injury, right? That's the type of injury that starts to happen when your body is starting to, I don't want to say give out, but when your body is starting to feel exhausted. And it's kind of like with Kobe, right? Like if anyone remembers long enough back to when Kobe tore his Achilles, they were trying to make the playoffs. They were pushing real hard. Kobe was going crazy for multiple games in a row, back to back, just putting it all on the line. And then one move happened and blew his Achilles. And I feel like with LeBron, he's smart to rest a little bit because you are 40 years old. You might feel strong, you might feel great, but your body is still 40 years old. And the more you play on that at that advanced age, you are putting yourself in a position to potentially have one of those exhaustion, one of those fatigue injuries, right? So it's going to be tough for them to have enough defensive intensity with LeBron at 40, Luka, who's not really known as like a lockdown defender. I've seen him play harder defense recently, but Luka is just like, to me, a big thing for him would be to get further in shape. I'm not saying he's not in shape, but you're playing against these young, lean, strong, muscular dudes that are jumping out of the building that are fast as hell. And I think a lot of Luka's game, the way he scores, is a lot of deception. It's a lot of slow down, drive in, come to a slow stop while the person's kind of flown by him. He's not beating people on athleticism. And I think that can be figured out, right? Now, when you have the skill set and the athleticism, it makes it really hard to stop, right? But I think the Lakers will be good with him. I don't know if they, with Luka and LeBron, are going to be championship status. I think they're going to need to build around Luka for a year or two after LeBron leaves to put them in a championship position. But with LeBron, my man might try to keep playing for another couple of years. Who knows, man? But at the same time, I say that there's a reality to this. He's probably exhausted. He's probably tired. His ankle's probably hurt. He'd probably rather just chill at the crib with the wife and the kids and then watch Bronny play. But we'll see what happens. But next topic, right? Luka versus LeBron James as a skill player, as a who's a better player, right? So I would say that if you're comparing both of them at age 25, you would have to kind of go back and look at numbers, which I've pulled some up. I'll flash them on the screen right here. It looks like they had, similar types of numbers, similar types of averages around the age of 25, which is where Luka is now. Um, so looking at numbers, it's going to be hard to really say who's better per se. I would say that as far as a skill set player, shooting wise, I would definitely have to give that to Luka. I think he's been playing pro since he was like 16 years old. He has a great shot, great step back, very deceptive moves, and to me, better dribbles. I feel like LeBron James's strengths are really his strength. His strength, his size. He's fast as hell. He's big. He's strong. He knows how to use his weight and his body mass to kind of like, I won't say move people out the way, but get downhill to where a lot of people will naturally move out the way. So when you compare skill set, it's going to come down to style when both people are very productive, right? It's going to be like, what style do you like? I personally veer towards more of a shooter, like a Luka. But I would have to recognize that if I was looking at both players at the same age, LeBron James is way more dominant, right? Even if they're scoring around the same amount of points, right? even if they're both scoring 25 points or so, LeBron's doing it in a manner, especially at that age, where he's driving down the lane, dunking on everyone, just pretty unstoppable to a certain degree. I think that if his shot was better, he would have been on that next level, Kobe Jordan, as far as skill set, but he made up for that really in his his strength and his ability to get to the basket and really finish at a high percentage at the basket. So when you have comparable skill sets in the sense of like they produce similar results, the next step to really weigh out who's the better player is really who performs better in the clutch, who can guide their team and lead their team to more victories, things like that. So that's going to be really something hard to compare at this moment because LeBron 4 championships in, 25 years or yeah, 20 years in the league, 20 plus years in the league, and Luka's not there yet, right? So now as Luka starts to, if he wins some championships, starts to, you know, maybe not need to bounce around to different teams to link up with different players, then you might have a better comparison of like, okay, this player, not only does he have a better skill set, but he also was able to achieve similar goals or similar accomplishments and similar success throughout his career. Then you can kind of weigh out which one you're going to say is better versus the other one. But right now, LeBron James is a clear winner in that conversation. I don't even think anyone's asking this question. I'm just giving my opinion because I always think to myself, like, okay, like Luka's really good. He has a great shot, better shot. I like his shot better. I like his dribbling. But is he really actually better? Right? You got it. Better to me is not only the the skill set, but the result. And in sports, winning is the main goal, right? So when you can influence winning and be a determining factor in more wins for your team, your city, your organization, then you're going to edge out the other players. So I would say on that note, to be continued. Right now, I'm going to give LeBron James as the clear winner and the better player, more dominant, long-term success, etc. Skill set wise, I'm going to say Luka would shoot the lights out over LeBron, shoot his eyes out if they were playing one-on-one. And he's just a little bit more clever, even though they want to give LeBron James the IQ award, maybe because he's always been known as a passer. I feel like Luka, because he doesn't have the athleticism, has had to operate from a skill level, kind of like a lot of the European players that we see that don't have that jumping out of the building super fast athleticism. They're very clever, and really have strong fundamentals, right? So last tip, last touch point on this topic. Where do I see the future of Luka with the Lakers, right? And as far as winning championships, I touched on this just a little bit ago, but I would say that what I see is LeBron James probably retiring this year, maybe next year, right? He might have one more year in it. I would say if he doesn't retire this year, that's a lot, right? That's a long stretch. Um, just in the sense of like, dude, it's already a lot getting through this season. My man had to take a few games off. His hamstring was tight, going all the way through next summer training camp just to get ready again and do it all over again at 41 years old. I don't think my man's going to want to do it. I think that unless he just accepts the role as like a player coach, sit back, play half the season, I'm not sure, right? But I will say that while he's there, it's going to be tough to really get another star because you have so much weight on the contract for him. So I think that once he retires, you're going to build around Luka. You're going to get some young, new talent, and really kind of move forward with a new system, a new vibe. And I feel like they couldn't have got Luka with AD, but imagine AD and Luka, right? That would be a squad for the next 5 years or so that you can bank on being in the playoffs. Add a couple of role players, and even with the role players we have, Austin Reeves, Dalton Connect, I think that would be a good unit. So obviously LeBron's great still, but it's just that age is going to push you into a place of not being as effective, especially when these young dudes are out here. The energy's crazy. I've watched videos where it's just like they run past LeBron James. LeBron James looks great, but these guys look very, very fast. And I think that that's going to be a challenge for the Lakers until they phase out of the older guard LeBron James. So once again, I just think that they're going to build around Luka. They're going to get some, a couple of other key role players. I think right now they have a lot of good role players. They need another solid star post LeBron. If you do that, you're going to put yourself in a position to win. But I used to say this when Luka was with Dallas. Dallas had Kyrie and they had Luka. I would always say that uh, their what is it? Their size is slow. Luka, he's like 6'8", but he's slow. And then their speed is small. Kyrie, he was fast but real small. So you have these struggles with them, where Kyrie is really good, really amazing, but then it would be really hard sometimes for him. I won't say hard, but it took a lot of effort for him to get a shot up, multiple dribbles, a lot of and one moves. That's exhausting. And then on the other end of the court, he's a smaller guard, where even though he's strong on the defense, if they switch on him, he's going to have a problem, right? And then on the other end, Luka, just like when they played Boston in the finals last night, he was getting worked by Jaylen Brown because he's just too slow. If Luka can get in the gym, tighten up, get shredded, I think that he could definitely improve his game and close that gap on the defense and make it to where he's a true threat on the defensive side as well as the offense, right? If that happens, I think that you're going to see the Lakers in the finals very soon. So, like, subscribe, comment. We back with the basketball content. Comment, let me know what you guys want me to cover. If there's any videos you guys want me to react to, let's do it. Let's go up. Like, subscribe. 100 years of wealth to you and yours. Cheers.